Thanks for having me on the PropTech Latam Summit Online 2021. Today I'm going to share my story, an unexpected journey in that way. It all started in 2016 when I was working on a consultancy project on innovation and strategy, and I founded the word PropTech in the UK. And of course, this is not the door of my house, but it's from The Hobbit, and the first edition also called The Unexpected Journey. So that's why. And when I found the term of PropTech, you all recognize it probably. It was related it's related to fintech, real estate, fintech, smart real estate, contech, collaborative economy. But it had a really focus on the what, on technology and on product push or service push. And yeah, in some way I didn't feel comfortable with that. But I believe that property and technology is the merging of two industries, property or real estate and the technology. So the world gets two layers in that way, the digital layer and the physical layer. But still, I didn't feel comfortable because it was that push of the what. And I was thinking, what's happening in the world? And we are facing big challenges, really big challenges, bushfires, rapid urbanization, aging, a lot of pollution in our water, in cities. There is a big challenge on or big pressure on health and well-being, especially now because of COVID. So I was thinking about, in what kind of world do I want to live in? So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and to think about a child, a child who is dear to you. It could be your own kid, your niece, a neighbor, with someone you like, and you think about his or her face. And imagine, it's now 30 years later. How does he or she looks like? How does he or she talks? And what is he or she doing? But we travel a little bit further into time and imagine the face of the child, but now it's 90 years old. And imagine him or her surrounded by the loved ones with a baby in his arms or her arms. A first great grandchild. And what kind of world does that baby see when it looks out of the window? And that's what I did, and I was thinking, it's not about products and services, that technology push of PropTech. It's about unlocking human potential to create regenerative, responsible, and resilient environments. And that's also part of a great book. I really can recommend you that to read, called The Green Swans, written by John Elkington. And he's also talking about system value. So the business is part of society and society is part of the environment. But that means a big change in how we think, look, and act. And there were already trends going on, like the future of work, digitalization, the connection with nature, and COVID-19 accelerate those trends and the consciousness. And it also accelerated my activities and my thinking in that way, because when I started with PropTech, and especially PropTech NL focused on the Netherlands, I was always thinking, it should contribute to higher purposes. And I told a story, but at that time I was too early. And maybe that's the story of my life, because it happened much often. But at a certain point, I was thinking, okay, I have to launch something different, which is really aligned with how I see the world and with my vision. So on Earth Day, April 2020, 2020, I launched PropTech for Good. And that was a special day, because it's also the birthday of my mother. So it has really something about generations in that way. So what is PropTech for Good? PropTech for Good is, of course, the combination of three words: PropTech. I already told you about that. And for good is related to the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. And the PropTech for Good Alliance is a leading global cross-industry alliance of built environment leaders, and of course also so it's tech and real estate, who use technology as a lever to contribute to those UN Sustainable Development Goals. So I always say it's about global challenges, but local PropTech solutions. And when I talked about it, a lot of people said to me, finally, now the why is defined for PropTech. So it's not the what, but it's the why, and it's not the technology push and focused on products and services, but it's more about unlocking. It's about unlocking human potential and focused on societal global challenges. What are the SDGs? The Sustainable Development Goals are they are signed by 193 countries in 2015. So we are 5 years ahead, and 17 goals with 196 targets. It's a global language in that way, and we have 10 years to achieve those goals. So that's what they call the decade of action, and we have to act yesterday in that way. But also don't forget, it feels like, oh, doing good, but doing good doesn't mean for free, or the UN Sustainable Development Goals are also $1 trillion opportunity for everyone in that way. So when after I launched it, I reached out to the national networks in the world and asked them to join forces. And now 33 national networks joined already forces. So they committed to the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and also support each other to exchange, knowledge, network, contacts, use cases, so we can learn from it, and we can all benefit from it. Because, for example, climate change doesn't stop at the border of your country. And it's a challenge we are all facing, and we all have to act. So I'm really happy and also grateful that we joined forces, and it's nice to see that also PropTech Venezuela, the PropTech from the Dominican Republic, Peru, Mexico, and Colombia already joined forces. So that's great, and looking forward to work with them and create a lot of action. And of course, there are also solutions, those products and services. And we created the first map last year, so that was the end of October. And now we are creating a new map, so you can still apply on the PropTech for Good website on the tab of Maps. I'm also inviting you to subscribe there, because there are so many great solutions to contribute to those sustainable development goals. But we really need bold missions. We landed on the moon in 1996, or 1996, and then we saw the Earth, and now the mission is from the moon to the Earth, because we are facing so many big challenges and problems at the moment, and real estate has a big opportunity to make a positive contribution to those challenges, to contribute to achieve them. And of course, I hear you thinking, but what's my ROI? And I always say there are 3 ROIs. You have the return on investment, very focused on financial investment. And of course, we're now looking also for social return on investment or environmental return on investment. You also have the return on innovation. It's about learning and experiencing, so you can make progress. And you have the return on an action. And that's not something we can let that happen. We really have to act, everyone. So the key to success, in my opinion, is SDG 18. It's about attitude and humanity. It's the biggest challenge humanity is facing right now, to create a better world, to create a sustainable future for future generations. Think about the child which is 90 years old and with the baby in his arms. And that's where it's all about. And to create that movement, we also need new words and to create a new narrative. And I wrote down several words, about circular economy, about biophilic design, about society 5.0, steward ownership, the metaverse, Internet of Nature, ESG investing. New, in that way, relatively new words. And now they are under construction, and we are looking to create and to give it really meaning and give it hands and feet. So that's where we are right now. So it's up to you to choose between the willingness to learn and potential in settling, or a life-changing journey. But one more thing. Be part of this journey. It's a big invitation in that way. And you can do that on different ways. Sign up for our newsletter to stay ahead on the curve. Join forces with the national PropTech networks in Latin America or outside Latin America, of course. Contribute to the Sustainable Development Goals as a startup. Share and set shared ambitions or shared missions in your real estate organization. And don't forget, stay hungry and stay foolish. So thank you for now. Enjoy the event, and speak to you all very soon. Thank you.